Anglers have long led the way in protecting one of nature's greatest treasures, the wild Atlantic salmon. Scotland has become a global leader in sustainable angling, with catch and release rates exceeding 95%, a standard seen across the UK. And this success isn't just a win for conservation. It allows fisheries to continue to operate and in turn supports the rural communities that rely on fishing tourism, contributing over £79 million to Scotland's economy each year. Well, despite these efforts, wild Atlantic salmon face a growing number of pressures. From rising water temperatures and pollution to natural predators and barriers along their migration routes, wild salmon are battling for survival on many different fronts. Over the last 2 decades, Atlantic salmon numbers have dropped by around 40% in Great Britain and have been reclassified as endangered. In Scotland, 2023 marked the lowest catch numbers on record, so our role in their life cycle is now more important than ever.
We all have a collective job to ensure that there are healthy fish populations in all of our rivers. We are working to reduce the wide range of pressures that our wild salmon face, and anglers are one part of the solution.
Anglers have always known that fishing is about choosing the right time and the right place. And with the current pressures on our wild fish populations, those decisions have become even more meaningful.
At the moment, we know that temperatures which are rising in our rivers across the whole of Scotland can have a really big impact on our fish, particularly at spawning time.
Government advises that above 20 degrees centigrade, it is crucial to avoid fishing. Choosing easily accessible fishing spots also plays an important role. Areas with muddy banks or steep embankments can make it more difficult to release fish.
We know that experienced anglers are already well versed in choosing the right tackle to make the catch, but it's also worth considering the right tackle to maximise fish welfare.
Barbless hooks, for example, make releasing fish smoother, reducing injury. Strong leaders not only help you land the fish, but also shorten fight, decreasing stress on the fish. We recommend soft, knotless or rubber mesh nets. These help protect the fish's vital slime coating and scales. These are all small adjustments with big results.
Before I even put a fly in the water, I make sure I've got everything ready for a quick release. Forceps down hook, scissors to cut the line, and my phone available and ready to snap a picture. It's all about being efficient when the time comes to release the fish. The less time I spend handling them, the better chances of recovery.
Playing the fish too long or handling it improperly can deplete a fish's energy reserves, making it harder for the fish to overcome barriers and continue their migration journey. But the single biggest impact is to expose the fish to air, even for a short period of time. This is something that really stresses fish. It's not surprising that stressed fish have slower reactions, making them easy targets for predators. But stress also weakens their immune system, leaving them vulnerable to disease. But if that fish is on its way to the spawning grounds, the stress of being held in air can also affect its chance of breeding successfully. And the effects of that stress may even be passed on in the eggs. So when you see a fish swim away, you don't see the challenges it faces after release. However, if best practice is followed, we also know that wild salmon and sea trout will have the best possible chance of surviving until they breed and creating the next generation.
Over the years on the Oikel, we have developed various different techniques and tried different techniques of how to let fish go and to maximise their survival rate right through to spawning. We used to keep rod-caught fish for broodstock, and you would see fish that had been badly handled. Some of them would develop fungus, which you could treat in the tank, but you can't treat it in the wild. So you would see sometimes one with a white ring around his tail, 4 spots on one side and 1 spot on the other side where somebody had picked it up. Occasionally they'd be blind in one eye if they were lining a net. When you catch a fish, if you let it go and you don't touch it, you're really securing that fish's passage right through to spawning time. So I suggest, if you have the confidence to try, catch a hold of the nylon and then have your forceps ready, really ready, unhook the fish, and that fish will immediately turn and swim away, not really realising what's even happened. Keep the fish in the shallow water, never take it out of the water at all. The real secret is unhooking it without touching it, and you will see how fast that fish takes off. They're ready for a weigh immediately. It's very satisfying. The first once or twice you do it, very satisfying to watch that fish going away without you ever putting a finger near it.
Landing a fish doesn't always go as planned. Sometimes the fish gets badly hooked, and if it does, the best thing you can do is cut the line.
It's definitely better to sacrifice a fly rather than killing a fish trying to unhook it to save your fly.
Most of the time, the fish will dislodge the hook on its own, giving it a much better chance to survive.
There are other methods of releasing a fish. By letting it recover while still in the water, fully submerged in the net. This is particularly important when fishing from a boat or handling a larger fish. However you choose to release, the golden rule remains the same. Minimize handling as much as possible.
Observe the fish during the release to make sure it is recovered fully. Ideally, allow the fish to recover in the net without using your hands. Face it upstream, allowing water to flow over its gills until it regains its strength and swims away. As anglers, it's only natural to want to know the weight of the fish we've caught, but you don't always need a set of scales to get a good estimate. While the fish is still in the water, you can quickly use your rod or net handle to gauge its length. Many anglers now use length-based calculators online to estimate its weight, keeping the fish in the water the whole time.
From an angling marketing perspective, my career, it's those hero shots, the website banners, it's the videos, the photographs in magazines. That's what sells fishing. We need to now hear the advice that you don't take a fish out of the water and you don't touch the fish. So let's have less epic grip and grin shots and more down at the feet, in the water still, fly in its mouth, maybe with a rod butt next to it so that you can get a scale, and that's it, it's in the records.
Preventing non-native invasive species is really important. So after I've been fishing, I always make sure that all my kit has been cleaned, I've checked it and it's dry for the next time I want to go out on the river. That way I can ensure that nothing I do impacts on the fish. As anglers, we always try and follow good practice. But as new evidence emerges, particularly in light of climate change and other biodiversity threats, we need to update that guidance and ensure that we follow best practice, which is current at the time.
Over the years, I've seen the number of wild salmon in my favourite fishing spots decline. It's heartbreaking, but it makes me more determined to do my part. I know we can't control everything, but by making these small changes, I feel like I'm contributing to the solution.
When you're out on the river today, every fish you safely release helps safeguard this precious species for the next generation to appreciate.